Greetings everyone, this is Bev, Clarko Vision. Hope you're all doing well. It's a Saturday morning here, and I wanted to get this update done and just have a wee blather as we go through it. I've got 6 items here to show, 1 or 2 kind of interesting items I think. A bootleg, and just 1 or 2 things. As the title says, my most anticipated release of the year will be on here, and something to fill a gap that kind of just needed to be filled, but we'll get into that in a minute or two. Before I get into that though, I just wanted to say to everybody, I'm aware I've reached 100 subscribers on my channel, so that's amazing, to be honest with you. When I started my YouTube channel, I started it long before I became involved with the vinyl community, and I don't even know why I started it. I thought I would just try it out, and I initially started just making note of things I liked, and favourite videos related to Steve Clark era Def Leppard, you know, stuff I was discovering on YouTube that was out there. So you could make your playlists and kind of organise certain things that you would go back to. And then I decided I've got the odd kind of guitar related video up about a couple of guitars that I had, projects if you like, that I had done, inspired by Steve Clark as well, and that was that. And I just kind of used my YouTube account to watch other stuff and tune it to what my interests were, if you like. And then, you know, I discovered the vinyl community a few years on, and you know, enjoyed seeing other people share their love for records and CDs, and you know, the classic way of listening, the traditional way of listening to music, which was kind of how I was brought up, which is why to me it means a lot. Why I guess some of us still do this kind of stuff. Personally, streaming music's a bit of a foreign thing to me. It's not, for me, it's not the right way to listen to music. It just doesn't sit right with me, but maybe that's just the old person in me, you know. When you grow up with that kind of stuff, I think it's kind of strange. When music was so much a part of your way of life, which it was back in the day, music was part of everybody's life. It was a big thing back then. It wasn't just something you had on in the background, which to just give you some background noise. It was just it was very much part of your identity. I think it was music, regardless of what type of music you listened to. But anyway, so after all this time, I had no intention of ever paying attention to the subscriber thing, never even occurring to me that it would hit over 1,000, so I am aware of that, and I thank you all for that, because I'm guessing it means that some people enjoy watching me ramble on here about stuff that I'm adding to my music collection, and all my bands and stuff. So thanks again. I am thinking about a contest, launching one just to mark the event, if you like. It'll take me a bit of time. I've been considering kind of questions to put out there. I kind of want to work it so that not just the people who do videos can be involved, but just the watchers, and you know, the viewers that don't do videos, they can participate in it by way of the comments section, so that'll be coming, just when I figure out how I'm going to work the contest, etc. But yeah, so thanks guys, really appreciated, and we'll get on with today's video, I guess. So here it is. So 2 CDs and 4 records. I was just browsing around on Amazon one day and this came up, and there was a couple of good reviews on it as well, and I thought, right, sounds interesting to me. Price wasn't too bad. Double album from 2003. This is The Beast in Stockholm, which is an unofficial release. It's a Swedish radio broadcast, which it says down the bottom here. 2 CD set. Oh, don't you dare cancel that. My blooming website, my computer's wanting to do an update, so it better not just cut off in the middle of this or I'll be annoyed. Then we'll cancel that. Yeah, so radio broadcasts are usually good quality because, if they're broadcast over the airwaves, usually they have decent equipment recording it, etc, etc. So, and it is good quality, it sounds excellent, and it's quite a nice set list. You have a lot of classics in here, 1 or 2 newer ones from the album Brave New World. I think this is just before or around about the time that Dance of Death was getting released, because they do talk about that album. And where are we? Let me just check. I'm sure there was a couple of tracks. I mean, Wildest Dreams, The Wicker Man. I can't even remember. I mean, it's an album I like. Just 1 second till I bring it out. It's an album I like, but I can never. Wildest Dreams is off this Dance of Death, and also. I think that's the only one. I wasn't sure if The Wicker Man was on here, but it's not. It's a previous one. So, and Bruce talks to the audience about the release of this coming, so you get a taste of what was coming with Wildest Dreams. So it's about that time, and it's an excellent live, it's a full live album from somewhere in Stockholm, 2-disc set, released by X-Ray Records or something. I don't know who they are, but that's who's released it. But yeah, so that's a nice live Maiden thing to just add to the Maiden pile of stuff. There we have it. So yeah, that was a nice little pickup. And the other CD I got, I picked this up off an eBay seller, along with a record that I'll show you after this. This band, I've been wanting to find something of theirs for a while, and they're quite difficult to get original pressings because they're not easy to find. It's the band H-Bomb, French heavy metal band from the early 80s. They launched in 1982, and they were active for about 4 years, to 1986. They were very much one of the French cult metal bands of the day, along with the likes of Sortilege and ADX, who I've managed to pick up some stuff for these guys. So I wanted one of these, just very classic, the early 80s heavy metal. Again, they sing in French, this band. The original vocalist has died, and I think I mentioned a while ago in a video, the vocalist from this band, I think his son is now in a band called Existence, a French band called Existence. They're kind of a new wave of traditional heavy metal band, and I have a couple of their albums as well. A really good band, they're worth checking out. But this is their album from 1984, H-Bomb's album Attack. Sorry about the glare there. And this is a reissue it's a 2019-2020 reissue, but it's a Brazilian reissue. It's released under license from H-Bomb and Rave On Records, who were the Rave On Records were the original label that signed them back in the 80s. I think they were a Dutch label. And this is limited to 500 copies. I'm not 100% sure how official this is, but according to Discogs it seems to be official. It doesn't, because I know some of them state our official release, and there's none of that on here. It just seems to be released for the Brazilian market. That says limited to 500 on the bottom here. There is a spelling typo on where it says Rave On Records. It's Rave On Red Curds. They've put a D in there. So this just came in the other day along with the record. It's their first full length. They did release, it's listed on Discogs as an album, but it's like a mini album because there's only 6 tracks on it, so you could possibly wonder whether it's an EP or, but I think because it's 6 tracks it's probably going to be more of a mini album. That came out in 83, and this was their first and only full-length album they released in 84, but it's really good, kind of just classic heavy metal, and as I say, they sing in French. You get a bonus track on this release, the track number 11, which is recorded live in Holland in 1983. But yeah, another really good classic French cult band. I've not had the time to spin this record yet, but I've heard snippets of it on YouTube, which is why I wanted to pick it up. So yeah, Brazilian issue, and looking forward to spinning that. So that is H-Bomb, and with that CD, the record I got was this one. I finally picked this up. This is from the band Screamer, the Swedish new wave of traditional metal band, Screamer, and this was their, I think it was 2020 they released this, Live Sacrifice, which is what it is. It's a live album, and it's from a bunch of shows they did towards the end of 2019, pre-COVID, just before the whole COVID pandemic kicked off. These songs were recorded, and I think they've recorded from different venues around Europe, but I wanted to get this album. They did a live stream during lockdown of a live kind of take, and I watched a bit of that, and they're just a really good band. I have all of the studio albums for this band. I've got about 4 or 5. I've got them all, so I needed this to complete their discography. So I'm pleased I now have it, and they have a new album due out in January, and it's pre-ordered. I have that on pre-order already. So yeah, it's got a nice kind of a matte finish. I couldn't remember, does this come with a... No, I don't think it did. Sometimes you can never remember if something comes with a download code or not. But kind of a matte sleeve on this one. You get, if I just move these discs out the road actually, I've got a flatter surface to put them in it. You get a inner sheet which has this kind of cool graphic on one side, and just some credits etc. on that side. And it is 180 gram, but it's just on black. There was coloured variants, but seller was asking a few quid more for the colour, and I thought, no way, Jose. so just black. I'm really happy to get this as well. So they're a fantastic band, worth checking out if you haven't already, guys. Highway of Heroes was their last release. And as I say, looking forward to the new one coming in January. Hopefully it's January. I don't know how long, if there'll be any sort of delays or anything like that. So that was that. This one is a cool release as well. This was something I was trying to hunt down as well, and it's again quite a tricky album to get a hold of, because there's not too many of them around. But I found one on, well, there's a seller who had one for sale on eBay, but he was kind of asking a bit too much more than what I wanted to pay, so I put in an offer, but he didn't bother getting back to me, so went over to Discogs, found one cheaper from France, and ordered that. Although I did still pay a little bit more than normal, because as I say, it's quite a difficult one to get now, and it's this one from a band called Tyson Dog, and the album title, Beware of the Dog. Fantastic band. This record is just tremendous. They're from the new wave of British heavy metal era. They formed in 1982. Let me just check. I have a page up for them here. Hold on. Yeah. This was their debut album, yep. They formed about 1982. They're from Newcastle in the UK, North England. And as I say, this was their debut, which was released in 1984. They signed to Neat Records, which signed many of the new wave of British heavy metal bands back in the day. And it's a bit tricky to sort of read the track listing with the red on that kind of brick wall effect back cover. So yeah, just new wave of British heavy metal, kind of classic. Just so good, really good album this. And I was so delighted to get it. Now this is a Canadian pressing, and if you saw me posting the other week, I said I just landed my first on the Canadian Banzai label, because the Canadian pressing is on the Banzai label. And I was always hoping that I might land something on this particular label, because it's kind of an interesting record label. I don't know why. Kind of interesting, the fact that it's a Canadian label and it's got very Japanese flavour about it for some reason. So yeah, but you've got the Neat Records logo just down here, because that's obviously who it was under license from. And this is in lovely condition. There's hardly any marks on it. Really well looked after. Just a couple of light surface marks, but nothing that affects play. So very good condition. And yeah, I'm just super delighted to have it. Just came in a plain inner. Don't know if there ever was an inner of like a printed inner or anything, but probably not, I would imagine, but as I say, I can't be sure. And as I say, the cover's in really nice condition as well. A couple of little marks here and there, but yes, superb. If you haven't listened to this band either and you like the new album kind of stuff, do yourself a favour and have a listen. It's on YouTube. So there we go. Fairly chuffed to get that. So, excuse me while I take another drink. Bit of a dry throat. Next up is the Gap Filler. I wasn't going to buy this record. for long enough, and over the course of time, it's just always been at the back of my mind. I should have got it just to complete everything on vinyl. I have it on CD. I have it on cassette actually, but it's really not a favourite record or anything. But you'll see why when I show you what it is. So it's this one, Adrenalize, which came, was the follow-up to Hysteria, 4 years after Hysteria, 5 years after Hysteria in fact. Because I have everything else on vinyl that Steve Clark was involved with, I thought I should really just get this one as well, because he is involved with this record. He is a songwriter of about 7 of the tracks that are on here. So because his work is on here, I thought, yeah, I've got to just have it, get that into the collection, and then I've got it, and then I've got everything that is important to me from this band, because beyond retroactive, they can go and take a hike as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, Adrenalize. I found this from an eBay seller as well. I did pay obviously a bit more money than the average record because it's from the 90s. It is an original 1992 release. It's not one of the reissues. There is a slight mark where there was a hype sticker, and thank God they removed the hype sticker, because I think the hype sticker that came on here went on said something about the hit single Let's Get Rocked, which is quite frankly one of the worst songs in existence. Along with Make Love Like a Man, that is awful as well. I mean, I don't particularly enjoy much of this album at all. I don't like the way it was produced. I don't like the mix. I don't like how it sounds. It sounds very much like an overproduced, robotic sounding, guitar processed sounding record. I mean, back after Hysteria and the success of it, the aim of this band was to try and come up with something to live up to that, and that was never going to happen because of that. The kind of record that album was, it was just, you couldn't replicate that, I don't think, and have the same success. And I think Steve himself knew that, and I think he really wanted to change direction away from that. He wanted to do other stuff, and I think this is all my personal opinion, he personally, I think, lost interest in the whole Def Leppard thing and the direction they were going in, which I think created a bit of a distance in some respects latterly after the tour. But this is all just my own thoughts and opinions. I've had about 30 odd years to mull over lots of things regarding this whole saga, but yeah, and I have my own thoughts, shall we say. So yeah, but anyway, we're not going to go into all that. Definitely not. So 1992, Legend Refola. It's in lovely condition. Apart from that mark, there's really nothing else to say about it. I decided I would house this in just keep it in this sleeve. This is what the guy shipped it in. I asked him to ship it outside the covers, obviously, and the inner sleeve's in mint condition. No splits or any of that. You've got the liner notes, etc. up here, and the whole band discography up to this point was on here. That's the 2 VHS videos, which I got these for subsequent Christmases. So yeah. So that's that. Oh, the record itself, I suppose we should have a look. It's black vinyl, obviously. quite flexible from back in the day, but it isn't necessary to have 180-gram records. It really isn't. It's nice to have a few, but not every one of them needs to be like that. So, lovely condition. The other side has this, you know, custom sleeve, custom label. So it's highly likely that it probably will hardly ever be played. I may just play it through once because I've never actually listened to it on vinyl before, but it'll go into the collection. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to have that because of Steve more than anything else. And so this brings us to the final one. You saw it there. This was, I said in my vinyl tag at the beginning of this year, I think one of the questions was, what's your most anticipated release of the year going to be, or whatever, something like that, and for me it was going to be this one. Finally come out just on a week past Friday, actually, not yesterday, it was a week ago. I just got mine in on Thursday there. It was held up a little bit due to the Royal Mail issues, but you know, that's fine really. I just had to be patient, and yeah, I was patient enough. So here it is. I've only just taken out the shrink wrap. Use it this morning. We have a hype sticker, and it was that long ago since I pre-ordered it. I've ordered the fluorescent orange. I thought I had just ordered the black, to be honest with you, but I ordered the fluorescent orange. So up here, so yeah, this is A Paranormal Evening with the Moonflower Society by Avantasia. And yeah, I have not heard this album yet. I've not had the chance to, so this will be getting spun this weekend. I will be very excited to listen to this. There's the track listing for the back. I think on this one we had a new member added to the team, a couple of new members added to the team for this one, being Floor Jansen and Ralph Sheepers. They were brought in on this one, and the other guys are people that have been on previous ones: Ronnie Atkins, Bob Catley, Michael Kiske, Jean Land, Eric Martin and Jeff Tate. They have featured before, and the usual high quality musicians as well. So that's everybody there. So it's a double album, this one. Yeah, it is a double album, to be honest, and I don't really know why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. There's 11 tracks. I'm not really sure why, unless the tracks are all long songs, but Moonglow, the previous one, was just a single record. That's going to be tricky to read through all that, to be honest. I don't like how that's been typed. And comes with a inner booklet thing. It's just a open double page thing. You've got your lyrics here, and more lyrics there, and a little bit of an opening kind of thing, introductory thing, I guess. Come on in, the door is open, it says at the bottom. So yes, very much looking forward to listening to this. Now, given that Moonglow, the last one from Toby and Avantasia, I have dubbed as one of the greatest records I've ever heard in my life, and one of the best from the 21st century. The Moonflower Society is going to have to go some to live up to that album, if it's to be anywhere near as good as that or better. Toby himself has said he reckons it's the best work he's written to date. Whether I agree with him will remain to be seen, but so we shall see. And here is your fluorescent orange. It's quite a bright orange. I don't think it's see-through actually, but it is very bright Looks brighter in real life than it does on here, actually. There you have it. So both records are the same. Slight differences on the labels. I've noticed the labels actually don't tell you what sides they are either. It doesn't say side A or side B. You've kind of got to look at the scribblings on the dead wax, the matrix. It says B1, A1, so I'm guessing this is A, B, and the others have a C and a D scribbled in. So we'll go with that. But yeah, so I mean, I love Moonglow, so I don't know how well this is going to fare. I've heard, is it just one or two I've heard on YouTube? I didn't really want to listen to too much. But from what I've heard, the songs were pretty good sounding, but not as good as anything I've heard on Moonglow so far. So we'll see. But so that's my update for now, guys. As I say, there'll probably be some kind of contest video happening in the near future. As I say, don't look for it tomorrow because I'll need time to think about things. But there'll be something, I think, and just basically to say thanks for everybody's support. And yeah. So maybe get some other videos out at some point. But in the meantime, have a nice weekend. Enjoy the music that you're going to be listening to, and feel free to chuck some comments in about anything. And we'll see you all in another video. Bye just now.